I had been away from my ranch for nearly a month, taking care of some family matters out of state. Upon my return, I noticed something strange. The usually quiet neighborhood felt tense, almost charged. My neighbors were whispering among themselves, and as I drove up the long, dusty driveway to my property, I saw Karen, the notorious HOA president, standing by the entrance with a smug grin plastered across her face. Karen had always been difficult. She thrived on control, on making people feel small, on enforcing rules that nobody else cared about. But I had never expected her obsession to reach this level. As I stepped out of my truck, she immediately pulled out her phone and, without a word, called the police. Her voice was sharp, accusatory, like she was reporting some grave threat. Moments later, I could hear the distant wail of sirens approaching. But instead of fear, I felt a strange calm settle over me. I knew my ranch, my land, my property rights were solid. I had done my homework. Karen's HOA had been skating on shaky legal ground for years, with paperwork missing, rules unenforceable, and board elections barely legitimate. The cops arrived, lights flashing, and Karen tried to explain her side with exaggerated drama, pointing fingers, demanding answers, claiming I was trespassing on my own land. The officers, polite but skeptical, asked for proof of ownership. I handed over the deed, the official documents, the county records, everything that proved, without a shadow of doubt, that I owned the property. The officers exchanged looks and gently informed Karen that her accusations were unfounded. But the real shock came moments later. As part of routine checks, one of the officers mentioned that the HOA, under Karen's leadership, was currently under review by the state due to repeated legal violations. In fact, the review had reached its final stages, and the HOA's charter was about to be dissolved. 5 minutes later, Karen's HOA ceased to exist legally. The look on her face was priceless. All her power, her threats, her carefully cultivated authority, it evaporated in an instant. She had called the cops to intimidate me, but instead, her own empire crumbled right before her eyes. I shook my head, smiled, and walked onto my property. My ranch was mine, free from the petty tyranny of a self-appointed HOA queen. For the first time in years, the land felt truly peaceful.